Freedom! What is it worth to go through life subluxation free? I'm talking about the whole family, husband, wife, and 3 kids. Do you know what's going to happen in their life without chiropractic care? Do you know how much money they are being robbed of every single day by the inability to make a decent living the way they should? Where one member of the family can't get a raise because of subluxation, and the other member of the family can't hold down a job because of subluxation, and the kids are being denied a decent shot at life because of subluxation. Subluxations are damn expensive. It's true that chiropractic costs money, but subluxations cost a damn sight more. Being denied the right to express your life costs more money than anyone's going to pay for chiropractic. Welcome back, and thank you for continuing to tune into Freedom Chiropractic. Once again, I'm Chiropractor Howie. That quote was from one of my many mentors, Reggie Gold. And no, it was not stating that you should charge an arm and a leg for care. It's stating that chiropractic is so important that you should make it available and affordable to all. In this episode, we are going to continue to explore what creates a sustainable practice. I believe there are 3 pillars to creating sustainability. These 3 pillars of sustainability consist of making care affordable, logical, and convenient. Today, we'll be discussing making care affordable, not to be confused with cheap. Now, what's affordable in your community may not be affordable in mine, so the price will really depend upon where you practice. Therefore, we will not be focusing on the fees in this video. Price is relative anyways. What would you pay for things that we take for granted, like electricity, plumbing, or clean running water in a part of the world that may not have these conveniences? I'm thankful that these utilities are affordable in our communities. Lifetime care should be the same. It should be like paying a utility bill every single month. I understand why some chiropractors feel the need to be charging an exorbitant fee for their services. After all, the client had been everywhere and spent thousands upon thousands of dollars, and in less than a handful of visits, they feel like $1 million. Consider this. What if they had been under care their whole entire life and never came down with the treated condition in the first place? How much is that worth? I think it's worth paying for on a lifetime basis. Therefore, that requires me to charge a fee that's affordable for the client and their family to utilize on a lifetime basis. However, when you do this, you'll be attacked by the majority of the profession claiming that you are devaluing chiropractic, devaluing the adjustment. How? By making lifetime care available to those that we are professing to serve? If you're truly serving the people, wouldn't that primarily include providing them and their family with the same frequency of care that we and our own families enjoy, week after week, year after year, decade after decade? So who is really devaluing chiropractic or the adjustment? The one providing it chiropractically, or the one charging medical fees and performing medicine by providing chiropractic as a treatment? If you're going to practice chiropractic, do it with a chiropractic fee system. If you're trying to practice chiropractic with a medical fee system, you'll be forced to practice medicine and you'll become what you hate. Then, to survive in the insanity that you've created, you'll hate and badmouth those who practice chiropractic with a chiropractic fee system. That was a quote by another mentor of mine that I mentioned in the last episode, Joe D., who we lovingly refer to as the godfather of non-therapeutic chiropractic. Joe has been the man behind the scenes. He's been practicing chiropractic in its purity for over 50 years and has created one of the largest practices. At one point, he saw 500 people a day by himself, and that was without anyone working the front desk. If you don't know this giant, I suggest you find out. Now, there's one industry that has tried to make chiropractic care affordable and available on a weekly basis, and that industry is the joint. I can hear the hisses and boos now. I just don't understand how anyone could hiss and boo an industry that's mission is to improve quality of life through routine and affordable chiropractic care. The Joint was originally founded in 1999 by a chiropractor with a vision to transform the traditional, often misunderstood concept of routine chiropractic care by making it more convenient, friendly, and affordable. Now, who couldn't get behind that mission and purpose? Now, over the years, I've made friends with students, and some of them went on to work at the Joint after graduation. So I've learned a bit about the Joint. For example, did you know that the majority of the Joint franchises are owned by business people, not chiropractors? To buy a franchise, it costs between $250,000 to $350,000, and most are located in a high-end area, located next to a Whole Foods or some other such business, which comes with a high monthly overhead. Now, since these owners are not chiropractors, they have to hire 3 to 5 chiropractors to work their business. So a Joint owner has a higher financial investment in chiropractic than most chiropractors do. And even after all that, these business owners believe that they can make a living charging between $20 and $40 an adjustment. Ironically, the majority of the chiropractic profession, with no business sense, mind you, feel that they can't. Does anyone else see the fallacy in that thought process? In fact, this model of practice makes so much sense to the general public that the joint saw almost 11 million people last year, compared to the 35 million total the profession saw. So the joint saw about a third of the people who sought out chiropractic care last year. Straying from your why in order to succeed financially is only effective in the beginning. As one Indian story shows, this will never bring lasting fulfillment. The story goes like this. One day a pheasant complained to a bull, saying, "My wings are so weak, I'll never reach the top of this tree and take in the view." The bull told the pheasant that he should eat a small amount of dung every day. The bull explained that this would make the pheasant stronger, eventually giving him the strength to be able to reach the uppermost branches. The pheasant hesitantly took the bull's advice, and to his surprise, it worked. The pheasant became stronger and eventually was able to fly up and perch on the treetop. However, just as soon as he reached the top, a farmer was walking by and saw the big, juicy pheasant on the branch. Then he pulled out his gun and shot him out of the tree, and then had himself a marvelous feast for dinner. The moral of the story, bullshit can get you to the top, but it will never keep you there. In the end, you'll have to continue to stray from your why in an effort to keep chasing the money. Speaking of chasing things, since care is affordable, your practice is not a revolving door practice, requiring a continuous flow of new people. Practicing this model does not depend on new people for your practice to survive. Those new people cost money to get into your office through an advertisement, and most of those ads are going to be about the treatment of conditions. It just makes more sense to keep the ones that are already in your office. On average, I tend to only get about 5 new people a week. Out of those that come in on any given week, at least one will continue with care for the next year or more. How much is that worth? Another thing, since you don't have appointments, other than the first visit to sit them down for a consultation, you do not have to have a front desk person. However, this may attract more barbs. While at a seminar, I had a young graduate come up to me and another established chiropractor. He wanted to know when he should get a front desk person. The other chiropractor went on to say that he needed to get one as soon as possible because they were worth their weight in gold. I went on to add that I've never had one in my 20 years of practice. The other chiropractor scoffed and said, "People aren't used to the doctor answering the phone." For one, I don't say, "Doctor speaking." I act as if I'm a front desk person. When they get into the office, they'll understand why I do things differently. Besides, I didn't go to school all those years to work for someone else, because essentially you are if you are paying someone $35,000 plus a year to do something that's manageable by the chiropractor. Now let's say you have 5 or more of these people on staff. That would require you to make nearly $200,000 with salaries and benefits before you can even pay yourself. What kind of sense does that make? It makes none to me. That's why I designed my practice the way I did. I went to school to work for myself, not someone else. Practicing chiropractic in its purity will have other chiropractors throwing barbs at you. In the previous episode, I had mentioned Henry Ford. One thing you may not have known about him was that at the time that he introduced his new assembly line idea, the car industry scoffed at him and said things like, "Look at this new upstart, fixing to fail." After all, they were hoping that he'd fail so that they wouldn't have to follow suit, because in reality, they knew he was right. So what did this upstart do? He revolutionized the car industry. Before his new concept, it took 12 hours to build a car. With the implementation of his new technology, it only took 2.5 hours, bringing the cost down by a third of the price, making Henry Ford's vision a reality by giving every American the opportunity to have their own automobile. Isn't that the vision that our profession talks about from the stage? Rather than talking about it, we need to take the necessary steps to make it a reality. No one likes change. Our profession is no different. They will ridicule and dissuade you from doing it so that they don't look bad. Until eventually, they'll have to admit that you were right all along. So what's wrong with change anyways? Yes, it could be uncomfortable at times, but that's where growth happens. You may be asking yourself, these are all great points, but how do we make it a reality? Simply by implementing the 3 pillars of sustainability into your practice, by making care affordable, logical, and convenient. Lately, I've seen a meme going around comparing chiropractic to braces. Braces are only done on a short-term basis, whereas chiropractic should be utilized on a lifetime basis. Instead of braces, chiropractic should be compared to the brushing of the teeth. What does dental hygiene cost? It's relatively inexpensive. Yet the dental hygiene industry generates billions of dollars a year. So how did the dental industry get people to understand that brushing was a lifetime endeavor? They educated people on the importance of doing it on a lifetime basis, which is what I've been stressing in my videos. We need to be educating people on the importance of lifetime care. Education is the most important part of what we do. Without the why, there is no how. They also made brushing of the teeth convenient. After all, they used to recommend 3 times a day. Now they're only recommending twice a day. My guess is that they changed the recommendations to make it easier for people to follow through with lifetime dental care. And the last thing that they did was to make dental hygiene affordable. Ultimately, they removed the barriers that would keep people from utilizing dental hygiene on a lifetime basis. Sound familiar? So why hasn't the chiropractic profession been able to do the same over the last 126 years? Because we as a profession are too busy talking about braces when we should be talking about brushing. I know when it comes to practice, you have a choice. I want you to consider, what if you implemented the 3 pillars of sustainability into your practice? How would that change your practice life? How would that change your practice life? Would it be for the better or for the worse? Imagine if you were to implement these procedures into your practice. Would the future of your practice look brighter? The dental industry has managed to get people to commit to a lifetime of brushing teeth. What's stopping us as a profession? It's us. Overall, the profession has not made care available on a lifetime basis. Here's a quick example. One of my chiropractic friends had a client moving to another location. So the chiropractor called the chiropractors in that area so the client could continue with lifetime care that they were educated on and accustomed to. Here's how one of the conversations went. Who would like to have their spine checked on a weekly basis? How much would that cost? The reply, it would depend on procedures, number of areas, adjusted, and etc. My friend continued, okay, so they would like to get checked for vertebral subluxation on a weekly basis for life. How much would that be? The reply again, it would depend on procedures, number of areas adjusted, and etc. My friend, with a little frustration, said, forget all that. Do you happen to have a spouse? He was replied with a yes. Okay, great. How often do you check them? The reply, at least once a week. My friend, perfect. That's what I want. Now, how much will it cost? At this point, they kind of fumbled over their words and finally said, well, maybe $52 a week. This was obviously the first time that they'd even considered providing the same frequency of care for others as they do for their own family. How crazy is that? Seems pretty absurd to me. Ultimately, it's up to us to be the change. You have the power to be part of that change. So get out there and start educating people on the importance of lifetime care. Make it affordable for the people walking into your office, for them and their family, just as we do for ourselves and our families. And make it convenient so that people have the ability to utilize it on a lifetime basis. By implementing the 3 pillars of sustainability into your practice, over time, you'll have a practice that the rest of the profession will envy. Because you're serving people just like you do yourself and your family, creating a sustainable practice that leads to freedom!